Hi everyone. Today our topic is about logic programming in Prolog. Logic programming in Prolog. So we will look what are the features of Prolog. Prolog is a declarative language. Declarative programming is sometimes called rule-based programming. The rules are formulated according to the principle of symbolic logic. So Prolog programs consist of collection of statements. Prolog programs specify what the computer should do. That is, the other name is the goal, not how it should be done. That is steps. So Prolog programs specify what the computer should do. That is the goal. It is also a logic programming language based on the predicate calculus, which is the form of symbolic logic. It is developed in 1970s, originated in the field of language processing. Prolog is the most widely used logic languages. Logic programming system allows the programmer to state a collection of axioms. What do you mean by axioms? It is a statement or principle that is generally accepted to be true, from which theorems can be proven. The user of logic program states a theorem or goal, and the language implementation attempts to find a collection of axioms and inference steps that together imply the goal. There are different features of programming languages. It includes horn clauses, resolution, and unification. So what do you mean by horn clauses? This is almost the questions asked in previous question papers. So what is a horn clause? It is a Prolog syntax. It is based in large part on a variant of predicate logic. It is known as the horn clause. In almost all logic languages, axioms are written in a standard form known as horn clause. In mathematical logic and logic programming, a horn clause is a logical formula of a particular rule-like form which gives its useful properties for use in logic programming. Horn clauses are named for the logician Alfred Horn. The headless horn clauses are there. Prolog has two basic statements forms in predicate calculus. One is headless horn clauses. Another name is facts, and headed horn clauses that you mean by rules. So there are two basic statement forms, facts and rules. So just remember, what do you mean by fact? It is headless horn clauses. What do you mean by rule? It is headed horn clauses. The simplest form of headless horn clause in a Prolog is a single structure which is interpreted as an unconditional assertion or fact. For example, the male, Bill, female, Mary, father, Bill, Jake, mother, Mary, Jake. It all comes under what? Headless horn clauses or facts. So let us look at the general syntax of a horn clause. A horn clause consists of a head, a consequent term H, and a body consisting of terms Bi. Here we can see B1, B2 up to Bn, it tends to H. Semantics of the statement are that when Bi are all true, we can deduce that H is true as well. When reading aloud, we say H if B1, B2 up to and Bn. So it means that if B1, B2 up to Bn are true, then what? H is also true. Meaning H is true if all the Bi's are true. A horn clause has a head H, which is a predicate, and a body which consists of a list of predicates B1, B2 up to Bn. A predicate is a declarative statement with one or more variables, which has a truth value when the variables are instantiated. Headed horn clauses. General form of the Prolog headed clause statement is consequence, antecedent expression. Consequence can be concluded if the antecedent expression is true or can be made to be true by some instantiation of its variables. Headed horn clauses are called rules. For example, parent xy tends to mother xy, parent xy, father xy. Then the rule dedicated from it is snowy xz is rainy xy, cold xyz. Like that, these statements are called rules. Just we look what is Prolog programming model. A program is a database of horn clauses that are assumed to be true. The clauses in a Prolog database is either facts or rules. Each ends with a period. A fact is a clause without a right hand side. A fact is a clause without a right hand side. For example, rainy, roaster. Like that, this type of statements is fact. Rule has a right hand side. If it is without right hand side, it is a fact. If it is the right hand side, it is a rule. So it is snowy x, rainy x, cold x. It is a rule. The token is the implication symbol. The comma indicates and. So basic features are atoms, variables, scope, type. Then structures and predicates are there, facts and rules, queries, resolution and unification, list, arithmetic, search and execution order. These are the basic features of Prolog language. We will study each one in detail. So first one, basic features. What do you mean by atoms, variables, scope and type? A Prolog, that is a logic language interpreter, runs in the context of a database of clauses. Horn clauses that are assumed to be true. Each clause is composed of terms which may be constants, variables or structures. A constant is either an atom or a number. A structure can be thought of either a logical predicate or a data structure. What do you mean by atoms? Atoms are the symbolic values of Prolog. An atom looks like an identifier beginning with a lowercase letter, a sequence of punctuation characters or a quoted character string. A Prolog term is a constant, variable or a structure. A constant is either an atom or an integer. Here we can see foo, my, constant plus hi, mo. The next feature is numbers. Numbers resemble the integers and floating point constant of other programming languages. Next is variables. Variables can be instantiated to and can take on arbitrary values at runtime as a result of unification. A variable looks like an identifier beginning with an uppercase letter. A variable is any string of letters, digits and underscores that begin with an uppercase letter or an underscore. Variables are bound to types by declarations. The binding of a value and thus a type to a variable is called an instantiation. Instantiation occurs in the resolution process. So below is the example of binding of a value. This is scope and type. The scope of every variable is limited for the clause in which it appears. There are no type declarations. As in Lisp, type checking occurs only when a program attempts to use a value in a particular way at runtime. Next feature is Prolog clauses. A query or goal is a clause with an empty left-hand side. Queries are given to the Prolog interpreter to instantiate an execution of a program. Each clause is composed of terms. What do you mean by constants? Atoms that are identifiers starting with a lowercase letter, numbers, punctuations and quoted strings. Example, we say in this foo, 4.5 star, hi, mom, this all come under constants. Then what are mean by variables? This identifier starting with an uppercase letter. Here in this example, food. So structures means predicates or data structures. So Indian, food, date, year, month, day, that are all structures. A structures consist of an atom called the functor and list of arguments. There is a functor and list of arguments. For example, there is date, year, month, day. So the functors are date. So in another example, tree, t is equal to tree, 3, 2, nil, nil, tree, 5, nil, nil. You see in this PPT. And this in this, which is a functor? Functor is tree. So structure consisting of an atom called the functor and a list of arguments. Next is structures and predicates is there. Structure consists of an atom called the functor and a list of arguments. So rainy roaster, teacher's coat 254, big tree, few bin tree. So prologue requires the opening parenthesis to come immediately after the functor with no intervening space. Arguments can be arbitrary terms, constants, variables, or nested statements. We use the term predicate to refer to the combination of functor and an arity. What do you mean by arity? Arity is the number of arguments. The predicate rainy has arity 1. The predicate calculus has arity 2. Here we see in this example rainy roaster. So in this rainy, so the arity is 1. Here we can see the teachers scored CS254. So the predicate teachers has arity 2. Next, we will look what is facts and rules. The clauses in Prolog database can be classified as facts or rules, each of which ends with a period. A fact is a horn clause without right-hand side. It looks like a single term. The implication symbol is implicitly, so rainy roaster. A rule has a right-hand side. The token is the implication symbol. The comma indicates and. Variables that appear in the head of a horn clause are universally quantified. For all y, x is snowy if x is rainy and x is cold. That is the rule. Next is queries. It also